Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Morning Brew. Today is our second episode of our special segment, Brewed on Reddit. I am here, as always, with my co-host, Fernando. He's over there. Um, I'm out, but I ordered some Starbucks for myself, and I DoorDashed some Starbucks to Fernando all the way over in Boston. I'm such a good guy,
He did
right?
not do that.
I did.
He didn't.
I forgot her name. I'd use her name
I
in
don't. I
Uber,
don't
but
have any water or any coffee.
but shout out to the person who delivered it. I don't know her name, but I gave her a
I
5 star.
picked this up myself.
Okay. Well, I gave her a 5 star rating on your behalf. So, anyways, I can see you're half awake, but are you ready to get into some spooky stories?
I think this is our first morning brew podcast in the morning. So yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Here goes nothing. Let's do this.
Our first story of the night comes from user PaleOffer8190 from the Ghost Stories subreddit. Story number 1. 2 stories from a mortician. I made a post on Reddit yesterday and I was told to post my story here on this forum. So here it goes, I guess. I have been a mortician for 36 years. I have embalmed over 12,000 bodies. During my career, I have had 2 extremely significant events which have changed everything about how I used to believe about death and the afterlife. I am a Christian, but the 2 events in my career have made me question everything. I have never shared these stories because I do not know how people will take it. Anyway, I have always wanted to get it off my chest. Now with the internet, I can do that. It is going to feel good to hit submit and let it all out. Here is my first incident. It was approximately 2 a.m. and I had just finished embalming. I had approximately 6 bodies all embalmed on tables with sheets over them. I had taken off my gown and gloves and walked across the room and opened the door. Right when I was about to turn off the lights, I had a rush of pressure that pushed me from behind. I need to say this push was not a regular push, not a focal point type of push when it is directed on your middle of your back or arm, or a push in a small area of my body. This was a type of wall push that touched the back of my ears to the back of my heels, and everything in between. I was moved approximately 1 foot before I ran as fast as I could out of the garage door. I guess we embalm in the garage. I jumped into my gray Volkswagen Jetta and drove to my condominium. When I got home, I sat down in my chair and spoke to Jesus and spoke out loud saying, I do not know how I offended you, or if you're mad at me, but I am very sorry. I remember looking at my right arm because my skin was tingling as I was saying this. All my hairs on my right arm looked like my skin was pickled. My hairs were standing straight up. I had never seen my hairs like that before.
So, this is definitely a story about Samantha with her gray Jetta, obviously.
Yeah,
She's a
obviously,
mortician.
obviously.
So, I know you made the comment about the garage door. My guess is that a lot of mortuaries, when the coroner will pull up in his van or whatever with the body in the back, or the ambulance or whatever vehicle is bringing the body, I think they have some place will have like a garage door to bring them in with like ramps and stuff back there, so that way you're not carting a body through the front door.
That makes sense.
Children are walking by and everything's beautiful and great, and it's a nice
They need
sunny
to
day.
know. They need to know the realities of life.
And then a freaking van pulls up and they just pull a body bag out and wheel it to the front door. Freaking people are in the front lobby, setting up a funeral for their deceased loved ones, and you're just wheeling a dead body by.
Just wheeling it in, dude.
That's freaky. I won't lie. Like the fact of it getting like I do understand what the person's talking about. They're talking about a full body push. I get what they're saying.
Yeah.
I have never experienced that though. I don't think.
Yeah.
I've never played. Maybe if I was like Indiana Jones and like had like the walls, like when he's like in a trap and like the walls are closing in, maybe that's like what a full wall push would feel like if you were up against the wall.
I think it's just like covering everything from your heels to the tippity top of your head.
But that is a weird sensation. Also, I've never heard anybody describe like an encounter like that. Usually it's like if they're shoved or scratched or, it's like,
or like briefly touched.
Right. Or if it's like the Annabelle movies, like push down the stairs or whatever, But yeah, I've never heard of like that. So that is quite interesting. Also, side note, I may sound like a weirdo here, but I've actually kind of, as I've like thought more about like, man, if I could have gone back, if I could change what I went for back in college, I honestly think I would have liked to have been a mortician, to be 100% honest.
No, you weren't. No,
I
you
would.
don't.
I'm dead serious because you
You
don't
don't.
deal with people. I don't want to be a funeral director because then you have to deal with sad people, and I don't want to do that. I don't do good with that. But I would love.
I don't think you got the stomach for dead bodies.
I think I could do it. I think I could totally do it. They
I
don't
don't
talk
think
back
so.
to you. They don't argue with you. They just chill. It's great. Dead people can't hurt you.
Literally,
So
they just chill.
dead people can't hurt you. So that's huge.
They can haunt you.
They could haunt you, yes, but I mean, if anything, you're helping them get to the next.
I feel like
step.
you'd be the type of you'd be the type of mortician that like, like takes the guy's watch or like
Oh Jesus Christ!
pockets his like any valuables you can get. Like takes off his wedding ring and be like, hey, there's no wedding ring on there.
Oh my God!
It
No,
just seems like you.
No, I may be, I may be kind of definitely on the side.
I know
of
how
not
opportunistic you can
believing
be.
as much, but I am not going to. I'm not going to bring that kind of bad juju on myself. Screw that. Yeah, no. But okay, yeah, no. I'm kind of glad that we actually got. This is a different kind of story, though. Usually, it's the typical like I was in my bedroom, I was here, but this is kind of cool, like being in a mortuary. That's kind of a cool setting. And you actually you have another story by this guy to do. So
yes,
you get a twofer.
Here is my second incident. This is a completely new funeral home, and 23 years later from my first story. I was entering the funeral home to embalm, and this was approximately 9 p.m. at night. As an embalmer, we do work at all hours. I was in the prep room and took off my gown and gloves and went down the hallway to grab a bottle of water out of the snack room's little fridge. I then walked down the hallway back to the prep room, and as I was walking back, there was a mirror in front of me down the long hall. Behind me is a glass door with our outside light on it, in front of the funeral home. And as I was walking toward the mirror, a person walked toward the door and turned and stopped. I saw this, but I took a couple of steps further and immediately turned around and screamed. The person was no longer there. It was a spirit who was behind me that I saw in the mirror in front of me. When I screamed, it screamed and it continued to scream as I ran out of the funeral home. It then continued to scream as I just stood in the parking lot. The scream, it was my scream the whole time. It took my voice and copied it. Sounds like a doppelganger to me.
I was gonna say, actually, it does like a doppelganger or like a Wendigo or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, I'm not an expert on even though we're
body snatcher.
Even though we're self-proclaimed experts, it says that in our description. I think
does
that sounds.
Does it say we're experts? Because I don't know if we.
No, I literally say in the description, I'm like, join self-proclaimed spooky aficionados Fernando and Austin or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say we're more aficionados than experts. We're not like.
Listen. It's subjective.
I don't think we've taken any
in this space. It's subjective.
Any certificate courses or anything.
I will print some out for us. Okay, I'll create some on Canva.
I mean, I think that's forgery. Like,
it's not if I create the organization and I think it's official.
You gotta go to Duke University and study. What is it? Parakinesiology or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They actually have that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
I don't know who's gonna hire you, but
us. We'll hire you.
We don't have any funds.
We can pay an experience, and if they visit our houses, Piper can give them like licks, and so can your cat. So it's kisses. There you go. Pet kisses and experience. That's what you get. I think that's enough for most people. But anyways, back to this.
I don't think. How's that? What about health insurance?
Listen. Times are tough. Jobs are hard to come by. You take what you can get. As my father always told me, take every opportunity.
How am I going to put food on the table with pet kisses and experience or exposure?
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Come on. You know that rule, obviously.
I hate you so much.
Okay, back to the story. So yeah, I admit, like, I think we've all, I don't care what level of believer you are. If it's like, you get up to go pee at like 2 a.m. and like, you like go by the mirror, or like you're brushing your teeth early in the morning or whatever, and you're staring in the mirror. I think everybody has like that thing in the back of their mind, like, what if something like, like when you close the thing. Like, what if something's
No,
there?
yeah.
What if
Like
my reflection doesn't move? What if my reflection
from
smiles
watching
back
so
at me?
many horror movies, whenever I bend down to like when I'm brushing my teeth and I spit out like
Yeah.
the stuff in my mouth, or if I'm washing my face and like I can't see the mirror in front of me. There's that like 1% of me that's forever scared that I'm gonna like because of like all the horror movies
Yeah.
I've seen that I'm gonna like look up and something's gonna be like right behind me.
Sam
And I'm
has
gonna
done
be like,
that to
oh
me
shit.
once in the like she did like screw with me. She did that one time.
Mhm.
Was in the shower and like pulled the curtain. She's like right there. I was like, what the fuck? Lucky good thing is I'm not like one of those people that just like I'm not one of those people who like punch things first, so that's good. Because if I was, I definitely would have been in a situation because I was not expecting it at all.
Oh yeah, you're going to jail.
I might just punch you just because though.
Oh well, you're also going to jail. That's a hate crime.
No, I love you.
And it's Pride Month. You got to leave me alone. Legally, you have to leave me alone.
You're not gay.
I could be.
Okay, well, congratulations for coming out.
What if I just never told you?
We're here to support you anyways. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
You're kind of an instigator, is what you are, actually.
Listen, it's either lover or fighter. Instigator I think falls more into the love.
I don't think so.
It does. It does.
I don't think so.
Anyways, back to the story. I do think that's kind of freaky though, how he like, I think it's freaky how like, obviously this thing kept screaming, but the fact that he was like running out the door and was like looking from the street and it's still screaming in your voice.
Yeah.
Also, like, I kind of would love to know, I should ask him, be like, what now? Do you go back to work?
Do you just go home? I just go home.
I just go home.
Just go home and I probably quit. I don't know.
But that's the thing.
Like what happened the next day? Did you just go back to work like nothing happened? Did you like?
Yeah, I gotta ask.
That's a very good question.
I should ask because
it's a good follow up.
This is a deal breaker for me at this point. This job, it's a deal breaker.
This is a career changer.
Yeah, exactly. I think I agree with you. Like every other industry is looking more attractive at this point because I wouldn't want to have to go deal with that. So, okay. Well, good luck with that thing if you're still dealing with it.
Yeah, good luck. Just good luck reaching retirement, being a mortuary.
All right, ready for the next one?
Hopefully nothing follows you.
Yeah, hopefully. Ready for the next one?
If you'd stop talking, yes.
Ready for the next one.
Okay, no. Batman.
I was born in the darkness. The second story of the night comes from Reddit user Mason Lodeker from the No Sleep subreddit. Apologies in advance if I said your name wrong. This one is titled The Scariest Thing That Ever Happened to Me. This happened to me about 2 years ago, around late December of 2020. I was 19 around the time. Me and my girlfriend were at my grandparents' place having a couple drinks out in the garage until it got too cold to stay out there. It was one of the coldest nights of the year, and there was a bad blizzard that night. We live in Canada, by the way. We both went back to the house around 2 a.m. She went into my room, and I went out into the kitchen to cook something for us in the oven. I was on my phone, standing alone out in the kitchen, when my grandma and my girlfriend both walked into the kitchen together. It was a bit strange, because my grandma is never up that late, and it was even stranger that my girlfriend came out at the same time. The first thing my grandma said to me is, "Don't go back out there tonight. On a night like this, people lose their lives." That's creepy.
I mean, it's true, right?
It's
blizzard,
true,
right?
but it's very like poignant. Like,
maybe the grandma just meant don't go out there like driving tonight.
Maybe she thought, okay, fair enough. Maybe she thought they were.
But maybe like, I mean, it like, she just said it ominously by accident.
Maybe she thought they were going to go out again that night. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Still a little creepy though, I guess, because like I said, the user's grandmother typically isn't out that late. But anyways, I was a little bit freaked out because I was just about to head back out to the garage to grab something. I never told anyone I was going back out. My girlfriend and my grandma just stood there staring at me with the weirdest expressions I've ever seen, with very unnatural smiles that did not seem right. My girlfriend then walked over and gave me a hug. When I grabbed her, she was ice cold. I commented about this, and when I mentioned how cold she was, her expression changed. Her smile faded, and she looked up at me with really serious but sad eyes and did not say anything. There was something else I noticed as well. She smelt like a campfire, an earthy, smoky smell. There wasn't an explanation for this, and she did not smell like that earlier. I swear at the moment I got chills all over. There was something so off about it all, but I couldn't put my finger on it. My girlfriend whispered in my ear, "Don't go outside tonight." Okay, so one thing I will say is, we haven't got the rest of the story, so I'm not sure yet. It does sound like I get they're creeped out, and I kind of think I get where this is going, but your girlfriend, your grandma, at least the fact they're saying don't go out tonight, it seems like a warning out of like caring about you. So I don't know what's out there. Something creepy as hell, but at least they're not trying to urge you to go out. So that's a good thing, I think.
I mean, they want you to stay in the house so they can devour you. I don't know.
Maybe. Okay. That is the other side of looking at it. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. I didn't think about that. So his girlfriend walked back over to his grandmother. She stood beside her with her head down and a serious expression while my grandma was still staring at me with that weird fake smile. It was so bizarre. I just stood there speechless. The wind began to literally fucking howl outside. My grandma turned and looked at my girlfriend. "Don't mess with black magic," she said. "Nothing good is gonna come from it." My girlfriend didn't say anything. She just continued to look down. I stood there confused. My girlfriend looked up at me. "We have to go now," she said. They both started walking away. My grandma looked back at me for a second. "See you on the flip side," she said with a weird smile. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that.
Grandma's kind of fucking
grandma's hip
with the tire.
Yeah, like grandma's hip. That's great. Yeah, okay. Rock on, grandma.
Rock on, grandma.
They turned around the corner and left the kitchen. I stood there for a while. I didn't know what to make of it all. I decided not to go out to the garage. I'd go out and get my stuff the next morning. I stayed out in the kitchen for another 10 minutes until the food was done. I went back into my room with it. My girlfriend was in bed laying down. She got up and we put on a movie. I guess I was quiet because she asked me, "What's wrong?" I told her everything was okay. It took me 10 minutes to say something about it because, to be honest, I was still frightened by it. I turned to her and asked why she and my grandma came out to the kitchen. The second I said that, my nose started bleeding. I ran to the bathroom and got something to stop the bleeding. When I went back in the room, I told my girlfriend everything. As you can guess, she said she never went out to the kitchen, and she swore on someone's life she was in the room the whole time. She also didn't smell like smoke anymore. We went and woke up my grandma right after, and my grandmother said the same thing. She actually thought we were trying to mess with her, and she did not believe me. We were so freaked out after this, we had trouble sleeping for the rest of the night. The part that really messed my girlfriend up was when I told her about how cold she felt and how she smelt like smoke. The only explanation we could come up with was that maybe if I went outside that night, something bad would have happened to me. Maybe the spirits of dead relatives watching over me came to me in that form so I wouldn't be scared and they could get through with a message. The last part of it that made sense was the part about the black magic. My girlfriend just got a book about witchcraft from her friend the week prior. My girlfriend never opened the book again after this. She took what was said as a warning. I've been thinking about writing this story down for the past 2 years, and my girlfriend encouraged me to finally do it because maybe someone else out there has had an experience like this. To this day, I still get chills thinking about it, especially the last thing said. "See you on the flip side." Fair enough. That's memorable. I'll never forget that.
You know, as hip as grandma might be, maybe this spirit just meant, "Hey, I'll see you on the upside down." You know, the spirit world.
Yeah,
the
maybe when
afterlife.
you go on, I will meet you there.
Yeah.
But I understand that.
That's kind of cool though. That's funny.
I like that. I think weirdly enough, I think like there's a lot of like language that actually like goes like full cycle. Like it's old, and then it's new, and then it gets older and older and older, and then it starts getting used again. and then it's new again. I think a lot of language is like that.
Yeah,
So
100 years from now, like Skibidi Toilet's gonna be
oh God,
hip again.
no, that can just die, please.
No, it's
Please,
coming back
just
in
let
like
it
100
die.
years. Yo,
But
Skibidi Rizzler, Ohio.
listen, I'm not gonna sit here and bash like Gen Z lingo because every generation has really dumbass lingo. It's just part of
Looks Maxine absolutely mogged.
it's just part of being young and having fun. So I'm not gonna bash them for that. But please, for the love of God, get rid of that one. Skibbity toilet. That just get rid of it, please. The entire comment section is going to be nothing.
You sound like a squarity.
I am a square man. I'm an old man trapped in a 32-year-old's body. So yes, I am totally. By the way, I'm 32 now. I don't. I
God,
think,
you're so old.
I know you're like what 45.
Feels that way. Feels that way.
All right. Well, going back to the story.
What'd you get for your birthday?
What I get for my birthday?
Oh,
I got a card with some money, and I got some JBL headphones. So, yeah, it was good. And Sam took me out to Jesus Christ, why am I blanking? We went to Kodos. That was it. So
I didn't forget your birthday.
No, you
it's
didn't.
Just funds are a little tight, but there will
brother,
be
you don't have to
something
send. I'm 32 years old. I don't need a gift. I really don't need a gift. All right, but back to the story though. Before we, we gotta go. Yeah, it sounds like this spirit. You know, like how you mentioned that the spirits were, maybe coming back in like the form of your girlfriend and your grandmother, just to be like a familiar face to deliver it without trying to scare you too much. You know, I think whatever this was not evil. To be honest with you, I think this is actually like quite benevolent. I think it.
Benevolent spirit.
Yes, it's a benevolent spirit. I think it was on your side. I think it didn't want you to go outside. Whether, I don't know what was outside, whether it was a Wendigo or demon, or if it was just really freaking cold. Shapeshifters, T-Rex, whatever. You know, maybe they just didn't want you freezing to death. It is Canada and it's cold. And yes, I understand you guys are very used to the winters. I totally understand that, but you can still freeze to death. Even in the Adirondacks, we still have people freeze to death. But yeah, no, I think this was a good spirit. I think it's in what's the word I'm looking for?
What are you looking for?
Unironically hip with the C on the flip side. I love that. Damn. I don't know.
I just imagine she was wearing a leather jacket and some sunglasses and just looked like the Fonz or something.
You know, it sucks because I think I sent you the thumbnail I want to use for this video already. But damn, I might have to experiment a little bit and see if I can make a see you on the flip side thumbnail. Because I like that. It's not very scary sounding, but I love it. But
the ghost is cool, dude.
The ghost is cool
for me.
Too cool for school. All right. Well, again, thank you, Mason Lodecour. Again, apologies if I said that wrong. And
Lattisour? I don't know.
Please correct me if you do watch.
No,
please correct me.
If you do watch, totally apologize for how we didn't pronounce your name right.
I will not be offended if you're like, hey, fix this. This is not correct.
Our third story of the night comes from returning user Casually Hollow. This one's called Weird Things in My New House. The house I live in now was meant to be my oldest brother's, but he passed away suddenly before he could sign the paperwork to buy it from my parents. I bought it because he'd put so much time into fixing it up, and I couldn't bear for a stranger to have it and to lose that last connection to him. I suck at doing house chores and usually opt to couch rot instead. One day last summer, I couldn't find my Roku remote. I tore the couch and living room apart, and that thing was nowhere to be found. I checked other rooms in the house and no luck. I took the cushions off the couch one last time just to be sure, and heard my brother's voice in my head say, "I'll give the remote back after you clean." I stubbornly used my phone as a remote for about a week before breaking down and finally tidying up. I put stuff away, I dusted, and vacuumed, and when I was done cleaning, I went to sit in my usual spot on the couch to watch some TV, and wouldn't you know it, right where I sit was the Roku remote. There is no way it had been there before, because I had been sitting on top of it and would have noticed. I think my brother honored his deal and gave it back since I had finally cleaned. I went to my niece's 16th birthday party and came home and noticed something odd in the horse pasture not far from the barn. I went to check it out, knowing that whatever it was hadn't been there that morning when I was feeding the horses. And it was a balloon that said, "Happy Birthday." I brought it inside and set it on the counter and sent a photo to my niece, as I'm pretty sure it was my brother's way of wishing her a happy birthday for her sweet 16. I told her I'd bring it over the next day when I was passing by, and a few hours later I looked over and that thing was floating in the kitchen. The air temp inside and outside really wasn't that different, as it was a nice September day. So it's odd that it went from deflated to floating seemingly out of nowhere. You know, how do I explain this? It is unsettling, but it's also kind of like,
Sweet.
it's sweet and eerie
Mm-hmm.
how all connected it feels.
It does. Like
Like
these
it doesn't feel, I don't know.
these don't
It's
feel like two
weird.
separate stories. They feel like kind of like one because they feel
Well, not
very
just that, but just like the fact that perhaps there is some type of afterlife connection that's out there, and that maybe there really is another. And who knows if it's just like all in our heads, all in our hearts, or what? But maybe the people that really do matter to us do stick around in some way or some form. I'm not sure. I
I'd
used
like
to I used to think that, like, well, it's okay. Well, here, like, to get a little weird about it.
nothing's off limits
Sometimes
here.
sometimes it would feel like, oh, maybe like my grandma was still here, or like influencing, or like sending something my way, or like my grandpa, or like reminding me of something, or like kind of just letting me know they're still around. But then I'm like, on the flip side, like, sometimes it's a little creepy, because like, what if I'm just like, because like, I'm a little horn dog, dude. So like, I'm always doing fucking some type of thing that like probably would be like I want privacy, absolute privacy. And what if like the ghost is just like,
What the fuck?
this what you do in your spare time? Because like, what if they could like I remember I once saw a meme online of like all the angels in heaven looking down at me, like beating my meat again, and it's just like, just, it's like, shit. I'd call myself a sinner too. You don't belong up here. You're going to hell.
Deviant.
You freaking monster.
Oh god. Yeah,
Like,
no,
a third
I get
time?
that. You know, everybody, no matter what,
It's barely 10 a.m.
everybody has stuff that they definitely wish there wasn't an audience for. So,
Exactly. And
yeah,
what if the
no,
ghost is like just like always with me, and it's just permanently my audience?
maybe they just manifest at times of need. They're not watching you all the
Ooh,
time.
like Harry Potter in the what do you call it? The stone.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the
I
philosopher's
almost
stone,
said the
the
Rosetta
resurrection
Stone.
stone. The resurrection stone.
Yeah, it's the
Yes,
Philosopher's Stone.
Rosetta
Yeah, it is a
Stone.
Philosopher's Stone.
Yes.
Yes, the Rosetta
No,
Stone.
the philosopher's stone shows you what you want most. The resurrection stone shows you uh like your loved ones from the dead.
Okay.
Going back to like a serious note, because in no way am I like trying to take away from like your
Gravity.
personal grief and tragedy, and it does feel, I mean, it feels real. Like it for as much as we like are skeptics, it almost feels like there is something that somehow or some way stays connected.
Mhm.
And whether it's like, yeah, like what are the odds that there's going to be like a balloon in your like random horse pasture on the day of your niece's 16th birthday, which I'm assuming is his daughter.
Man. So for context, we actually do know this person. So, and they know us very well, so they're not going to be upset with us kind of like talking how we've been. But
they're going to be so upset.
But yeah, no, like there have been other weird stuff kind of that's gone around with this person's life kind of surrounding this concept. Yeah, and you know, to be fair, like this person I know she's kind of, I won't know if I'd necessarily say like she's 100% a believer, but she's very open-minded and willing to be like, yeah, this is something weird, and this is kind of how I interpreted it. I do like this story.
No, I do
story is
too.
technically plural, but to me this is one story because they're really connected.
No, they are connected.
But no, I mean it's also nice to just kind of know that, you know, ghosts and spirits and stuff aren't all like malevolent, you know, kind of like the previous story. There's supposedly good spirits out there that want to help us and
Although,
connect.
unless I have seen horror movies where like they try to imitate your deceased loved one and they like lull you into a sense of
Security.
comfort where you think, oh, this is just my family member, and then it's like, okay, hey, can you let me in this doll over here?
Yeah, it's a bit of a Trojan horse.
It's a bit of a they're little scam artists. They're like
Yeah.
Austin, dude. They're always like looking a way to con you.
All right, everybody. Our final story of the night comes from Reddit user Plain McQuat 4406 from the Ghost Stories subreddit. This one is called The Doll in Grandma Ethel's Room. I want to preface this story by saying that not only have I never written a story of a paranormal account, I have also never told anybody about this incident. This is a real story that happened to me. I put this on the lives of everyone I know and love, that all this is true and is a personal account of mine. At the time of this encounter, I was 10 years old. I am now currently 21 years old. When my parents divorced in 2011, I was 6 years old. My father stayed in Nashville whilst my mother, sister, and I moved back to Minnesota to live with family. Needless to say, it took my father quite some time to really get his shit together. Decades of on and off, again, alcoholism, painkillers, and the whole 9 yards. But most importantly, he's doing amazing now, and I love him to death. So that's a good thing. I like that. He moved to Minnesota when I was 9 years old. My sister and I were with Dad on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, if I remember correctly. He stayed with his parents, both in their mid-60s, living in a house that's been passed down through generations. Now here's where you'll see what prompted my encounter. My intro begs the question, where did my sister and I sleep? Great-Grandma Ethel's bedroom, downstairs of course. She had passed away before I was born, and it had been preserved the exact same way she left it for a long, long time. Long enough for all of the dolls she collected to be in the same rightful position, just where she placed them. That is creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Doll collections are creepy by nature.
Oh god,
like dolls are just creepy things, dude.
I'm not. I actually have a doll story of my own, but I'm not gonna say it till the end because I do not want to undermine your story. Dolls are creepy, man. Dolls. I don't like dolls. Like inanimate objects don't really bother me. Like I know some people like, you know, music boxes scare people. So I don't like fucking dolls. Dolls are creepy as hell. I don't know.
I hope you don't like fucking dolls.
I don't like fucking dolls. You're right. I don't like that either. But I don't like dolls. Dolls are creepy. I just don't know why people like them. I understand if you had a doll that meant a lot to you, it was gifted to you. I get that. I totally understand that. But I never understood the doll collections. That freaks me out. It's definitely
Yeah, my mom had a small one, and there's this like little clown.
Yes,
doll, and
I probably know what you're talking about. All right, back to Grandma Ethel's house we go. The dolls surrounded the entire room, shoulder to shoulder. Picture a windowsill or a ledge that goes around the entire room above head level. For context, the majority of her collection were Dawn dolls and Cabbage Patch Kids. There was one doll that stood out from the rest. She was probably around 1.5 to 2 feet tall. Her standing placement was on the side of the bed, right in front of the nightstand, right beside where my head hits the pillow. For reference, my sister was always on the inside of the bed, and behind her was nothing but a wall. Of course, I was lucky enough to have the damn aisle seat. The doll wore a white floral dress. She was always facing the door, which was relatively the same way we were facing, except she was aimed slightly towards the right. Her face, which I couldn't see from the top of the bed, facing the door. Always. For the first couple weeks or so sleeping in there, of course my sister and I were a bit afraid, as any 9-year-old sleeping in a room chock full of dolls would be. Over time, we began to settle in and see the dolls for what they were, my sweet beloved great-grandmother's collection. During her time, it was a big deal to collect dolls, believing that was our only other choice besides quite literally being scared to shit every nanosecond we were in that room. We slept in there for months, nothing out of the ordinary that I recall. We eventually settled in, for the most part, until that changed. It was during the fall season when this happened. In Minnesota, that means freezing temps and gray skies. Not fun, I can totally relate in northern New York. My sister and I had a long day at school, rode the bus to Dad's, played some NHL and Madden with him, and then went to bed. Any other night, right? No, far from it actually. I remember having a hard time falling asleep. My sister and I were tossing and turning, and we debated waking Dad to see if he had any melatonin or sleepy time tea. We decided not to, and eventually we fell asleep. I woke up in the middle of the night. I felt fully conscious, instantly, and adrenaline was coursing through my veins like an F1 race.
Is this your story?
It's not, I swear to God, but I was very happy when I saw that this story fell on my lap to read, because like, fuck yeah, I love F1. I love the shout out. It's automatically a 10 out of 10 story for me, by the way. I don't even care what happens after this. I was beating sweat and felt wrong. I can't put it any other way. I felt wrong. Something was severely off. Like any person who woke up terrified and dripping sweat, I turned to look at the room. The doll. The fucking doll. The doll's head was now facing me with an unmoving and dead gaze. I can't describe the position of her head to a T, but what I do know is that it could not have been more perfectly aligned with my face. It had completely cocked its head all the way to the left overnight. The weirdest part about all of this, I didn't even panic. I don't know why. I really don't. Of course I felt immense fear in the moment, but after 30 seconds, all I did was put her into the closet, shut the door, and go back to sleep. I did not want to scare my sister, as she is very impressionable. And that's it. That's the story. The doll never left the closet, and I never dared to open it. To those of you that think this was a prank, that perhaps my father, sister, or grandparents pulled this on me, it was not. My father was performing a gig in Iowa, and my grandparents went with him. It was our duty to catch the bus in the morning. The other debunk, my sister is not even remotely the type to pull something like that. Just the thought of telling her the story, even now, makes me feel immense guilt and shame, knowing she'd be both furious I didn't tell her and scared shitless. I did not look into how Grandma Ethel died or anything else on the matter. It is buried into the depths of my mind. Yeah, see, I understand, like, I like this story. I think it's creepy as hell. And yes, I understand, like, I think when people mention like haunted dolls, everybody like wants like catching the doll, like scurrying off. Like that's creepy as fuck. But let's face it, that never really tends to actually happen. So yeah, I think that's eerie. You said this doll basically hasn't moved an inch since your great grandmother passed away. And of course, on this night where you've become fully aware of everything, you know your surroundings, you know the position of all the dolls because you've been there for months. So when you're going to notice this, when something deviates from the norm, and the doll staring at you definitely deviates from the norm. So yeah, I think that's pretty freaking creepy. Especially the fact that it was just you and your sister at that moment, so there was no one else to play, And I don't know how, you said that these shelves were like above head level. And I believe you when you say that it wasn't your daughter. That's not daughter. Jesus, your sister. It was your sister.
Dude.
Sorry, your sister. I'm not insinuating someone messed with you guys. That's not what I'm saying. But to actually add to your case, you said these shelves are above head level, and I don't know how short your sister was this time. Would it even have been possible for her to get up there anyways? I mean, like, so again, I don't know how tall she was. I don't know how high these are, but to, give you kind of more ammunition as to how this was not done by her, could she even reach it anyways? So yeah, that's creepy. Like I said before, I don't like dolls. Dolls are creepy. That's kind of why I gravitated towards your story a little bit. But the cool thing is, it sounds like me and Fernando both have doll stories also to kind of like add to this. Do you want to tell yours first?
Sure. So I posted a picture here in the chat. It's actually from a Facebook post of mine from like 2013. So for context, you can add this to the YouTube video later for our visual listeners or visual viewers. Um, my family, ever since I was a kid, used to get me little giraffe, like stuffed animals and plushies. I remember specifically there was this one giraffe that sang "Animal Crackers in My Soup" every time you pressed a little button, and he'd like turn his little head like this, "Animal Cracker." Like it was a little animatronic giraffe, and it was cute. I liked it. I was probably like 10 or something. Uh, One day, the kind of like the batteries on it broke, or like something broke, a mechanism in it, and its like head was just permanently like this. So it's just like hunched to one side and only one side. It's like animal crack, and I'm like, all right, this is a little creepy now. Like, please get rid of it. And my parents thought it was so funny. And from that day on, they just get me like every time I'd come home from college or come visit, there'd be like a giraffe in the room I grew up in, like some type of like little giraffe figures or little giraffe plushies. Like they just thought it was so funny and so cute. So they got this like little beanie baby thing that's pictured, and it was in the middle of my bed when I came home from college for like winter break. Like that's why my suitcase is on the floor right there. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like, I think my little sister was at a friend's house sleeping over. My older sister was already in college too. She didn't come home yet. I think she was like, she might have been married at this time, so she was like living with her husband. So in this 6-room farmhouse, like, so it's like 3 stories, 6 rooms, just huge. Like my room's on the second floor. It's just me and my parents' home. And my parents are down in the living room watching TV. My dad's already like asleep, but like my mom's like, "Hey, come watch a movie with me." So no one's home but me and my parents. My room's on the second floor, my parents are on the first floor. It's such a loud and creaky house, you can tell when someone leaves or is walking around, like you'll hear it. And so I take this giraffe that's in my room, toss it over my shoulder like whatever, like funny, haha, like threw it into the corner of the room. Didn't fucking care. Uh Go down to watch a movie with my parents. Finish the movie. My parents never left the living room where we were watching. Like my dad was passed out on the couch. My mom was just under the covers on her iPad or whatever, just like twiddling her thumbs. Like, all right, it's 1 a.m. I go back up to my room to like cash out. Like my parents are still downstairs. And the giraffe's back on my bed. And I'm just like, that's not where I left you. I distinctly remember tossing you over my shoulder and you were on the floor.
You're sure it
Like you
landed
started on
on
my
the
bed.
floor, right?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it was
okay.
on my bed. I tossed it over like that. And when I came back upstairs, it was back in my bed. And I was just like, that's not where I left you. And my parents were downstairs. My cats can't pick this up. They wouldn't do
Right.
that. Like, my dogs are outside. Like, this doesn't add up. And so, for context, this house was like 160 years old. It was really old. It's just a weird house.
But I do
Yeah.
want to just give you my doll story. It's short and sweet.
Give me the doll story.
It's not very
Yeah,
long.
I said like 4 stories, but like that house was, yeah, we could have investigated that house if I still lived there.
I guess let's go back and talk to the new owners and see. But anyways, like mine is not near. There's not much of a setup for mine. It's just fucking creepy. That's all I got. So back when we were, I don't know, I was probably like maybe 14, 15 at this time. We used to like the house to do like big like sleepovers at was my friend Damon Cole, his house, and his dad like once a year. His parents would always take us to like Great Escape like once a year. That was our kind of a cool thing we
Oh, is
did.
that the Lake George one?
Yeah, we'd go like for his birthday, I think it was, or something like that. Anyways, so I believe we came home from that, and we would always like we were on like a Ghost Adventures kick at that time. I think it was Ghost
Oh, I
Adventures.
loved Ghost Adventures, dude.
So we watched it
Zach
all the
fucking
time.
Bagans.
Oh yeah, yeah, we'd watch it all the time. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember if we watched it that night, but it definitely would. It would surprise me if we were watched that night. But again, like the show, I've never been creeped out by ghosts or anything like that. If you've seen other episodes of our podcast, you probably know how I feel about ghosts for the most part. Um, but anyways, his mother was one of these people who collected dolls. And they had this little like central room to the house. It was a smaller 2-story house, but the central room, from the central room, there were offshoots to the living room and to the kitchen and to the mud room and stuff like that. Um, anyways, I don't know. We probably fell asleep around like 1 in the morning, and we all slept in the living room. It was a pretty big living room. So like, someone had the couch, someone had the recliner, someone had the other chair, and I
Yeah.
think there was like five of us. So, me and someone else was like, well, we have sleeping bags, so we'll just sleep on the floor. I don't really care. So, anyways, I don't know what time it was. It's probably like probably 3 in the morning, honestly. So the witching hour.
The witching hour.
And I remember waking up. So the TV's off. Everything's off. The house is silent completely. And I heard like shuffling. No, I did not hear doll's feet running across the floor. That's not what I heard. It was carpeted anyways. But I heard like shuffling movement, and I was like, what the fuck? And he had a cat, so I was like, okay.
Could
Oh,
be the
sorry, no,
kitty.
he didn't have a cat. I apologize. He had two dogs.
Okay.
And I'm like thinking, oh, it's just the dogs, even though they were upstairs with parents. And then I heard fucking like whispering, just like very like
Voices.
fast paced, rapid, hushed whispering.
Maybe you're schizophrenic.
Maybe I'm schizophrenic, possibly. I don't know. And I kind of like peered over like the sleeping bag, and nothing was moving, but the whispering was definitely coming from like that bookshelf with all the fucking dolls. And I was just like, so I was the person like who was sleeping close to that. And there's like another person like on the other side of like the coffee table. So I literally took my sleeping bag, stood up, went to the other side of the coffee table, so that way if it did attack,
It got him
the other
first.
people. I was like, "Fuck this!" But
Even as a child, you were a seedy little schemer,
hey, I'm
dude.
not dying. Screw that. Everyone else wants to sleep through it. That's their problem.
You don't
But
want to fucking warn people, dude. You're just like,
well, I was like looking around, see if anyone else is hearing this, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
yo,
But
is anyone here?
it went on for like 5 minutes, and I was like, and it just stopped, and I was like, okay, well, one of those dolls are fucking possessed. I don't know which one, but I am not going to be the one that gets killed. So yeah, I've just moved over.
So what kind of dolls were they again?
They're like those. They definitely weren't like cabbage. Well,
Like Barbies or
they weren't
something?
Barbies or Cabbage Patch dolls, or even. Well, maybe they said what was the name of the other
Were
ones?
they like American Girl dolls?
They were that kind of style, but they're definitely older. They're like porcelain dolls.
Yeah. Where they
Um,
got like limbs and everything, and
yeah, I'm
like
trying to because they said Dawn doll. Let me look what a Dawn doll is. I actually don't know what a Dawn doll is. Give me one moment. What the hell is a
Dawn
Dawn
doll.
doll? What is a Dawn doll?
Or is it like one of those like old school dolls that's like
Oh, definitely not a Dawn doll. No, they're like old school, like old porcelain doll. Yeah, like yeah, I'll put up some images, but yeah, like what I'm looking at here.
like the white rosy face?
Yeah, with like eyebrows and
Very detailed,
like kind of
like
like chubby like cheeks and shit like
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she
Not like
collected.
plastic, not like plastic baby like baby dolls or whatever,
No,
but like porcelain.
realistic, like
Yeah.
So yeah, I can at least share in your terror of freaking dolls. I fucking hate dolls. They're creepy as hell. Like here I'll show you. I'll put one in the script for you, Fernando, so you can see, and I'll show you guys too, obviously. But okay, yeah, those are the 4 stories tonight, guys.
Hell yeah.
I liked them. Thank you again, everybody who submitted one. I enjoy this. This is, like I said, this is the second episode. This is a relatively new segment of our, kind of to accent our podcast. So
Accentuate.
I hope you are enjoying it as much as we are, because it's kind of fun just to sit back and instead of reading like some story everybody's and their mother's made a podcast about, these are your stories that, maybe haven't gotten as much love as they should. So we like to bring them to the spotlight, if you want to call this a spotlight, and discuss them. So I think that's it. I'm gonna give you the finalists of the final thoughts, but my final thought is fuck dolls. I don't like those things. They're creepy as hell. How about you? You got a final thought before we take off?
Stories like this, especially recounting my childhood, make me teeter from skeptic to semi-believer again. But that's my final thought.
That's fair. No, totally fair. I mean, it kind of makes you like. It kind of makes it exciting almost a little bit. Kind of like when you were like a kid and like, oh, and you kind of believed in this stuff and you're like, man, like what if? And then like as you become an adult, become more rational, kind of.
But then you think back and you're like, I can't rationally explain
Right,
that.
exactly. It's these stories that remind you, like, yeah, there was a reason why you were scared of that because there's no way to
Exactly, dude.
explain it. So it's great stories like this that kind of keep us all young at heart and maybe make us realize that we don't know everything. Far from. So, with that, I am going to I'm going to end it and I'm going to say goodbye
Okay.
until next time.
Stay spooky, everybody.
Stay spooky, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.